Hitting 6th, Eric Castaldo. At first base, batting 7th, is Matt Duncan. Chris Chisholm in center field, batting 8th. Rick Eckstein in left field will bat 9th. And John Kaufman, a record of 10-4, the Gators starting pitcher. For Florida State and head coach Mike Martin, the Seminole batting order reads this way. Leading off and playing shortstop, Brooks Bedeau. The third baseman batting second, Adam Farrow. The center fielder hitting third, J.D. Drew. The left fielder hitting cleanup, Jeremy Morris. The DH, Scooby Morgan, is batting 5th. Second baseman, Scott Zetch, hitting 6th. The right fielder, Steve Nadeau, will bat 7th. The catcher, hitting 8th, Jeremy Salazar. And the first baseman, batting 9th, Matt Woodward. Pitching for Florida State will be sophomore left-hander Randy Choate, a record of 15 wins and 3 defeats. Mike Martin, the 1996 Atlantic Coast Conference Coach of the Year. He's in his 17th season as the head coach at Florida State. 918 career victories, 311 defeats, a winning percentage of .746. That's number 4 on the active list. The Seminoles have won 50 games in 15 of his 17 years. And for the Gators, Andy Lopez in his second year, a record of 80-40, 67% winning margin as the head coach of the Gators. He's the 7th coach to bring 2 different teams to Omaha in the College World Series. The umpires for today's game from the Southeastern Conference calling the balls and strikes, Tony Thompson in his 2nd College World Series. He's from Snellville, Georgia. Tom McKinney from Little Rock, Arkansas, in his 2nd College World Series, is the first base umpire. Bob Jones from Kansas City, Missouri, the second base umpire, working his 3rd trip to Omaha. And the third base umpire this afternoon, Kevin Gilmore, his first College World Series game. He's from Dublin, California. A beautiful day for baseball here. Sunny skies, temperature in the middle 60s, will climb to the middle 70s. And all in all, perfect day for World Series baseball.
Beautifully manicured field they have here at Rosenblatt Stadium. My first visit, I know, Mick, this is your second visit to this ballpark, but you're certainly got to be impressed with the facilities they have here and all the care that they have taken in taking care of everybody that comes to this ballpark. This entire town is all pumped up, and as you said before, it's about $15-16 million come into this city when the College World Series is played. And well, the Gators are getting ready to take their positions in the field defensively. There they go. They're in their white uniforms with orange and blue trim, and let's take them around defensively. In left field will be Rick Eckstein. The center fielder will be Chris Chisholm. Brad Wilkerson will be in right field. At third base will be Mark Ellis. The shortstop will be John Tamargo. At second base will be David Eckstein. The first baseman is Matt Duncan. Behind the plate, Eric Castaldo, and on the mound, the junior left-hander John Kaufman, number 15, 5'9", 171-pounder from Tampa, Florida. He comes into this game with a 10-4 mark and a 4.50 earned run average. This will be his 20th game and his 20th start of this season. During the regular year, he pitched 112 innings, giving up 100 hits, 58 runs, 56 of which were earned. He walked 41 and has struck out 89. John Kaufman, in his last outing, clinched the East Regional with a victory in the College World Series berth for Florida by pitching 2nd consecutive completed game versus Massachusetts. That was on the 26th of May. He scattered 7 hits and 2 runs. Both were earned while striking out 8 and walking none. John Kaufman now taking his warm-up throws. And boy, this day has turned out to be absolutely gorgeous. When we woke up earlier this morning at the hotel and looked out, the rain was still coming down in a slight mist, but the forecast was that somewhere around game time, they thought the sun would push the clouds away, and it certainly has happened here this afternoon. As I said earlier, 2 Florida teams have got to bring the sunshine with them. Well, we're just about ready to go as Brooks Bedeau will be stepping into the batter's box. and getting things ready. John Kaufman kicks around and gets the dirt ready around the mound area for himself. And stepping up to the microphone to bring you all the play-by-play action, here is the voice of the Gators, Mick Hubert.
All right, thank you, Bob. A pleasure to be here in Omaha, Nebraska for College World Series Florida Gator Baseball. Brooks Bedeau hitting .358, no home runs and 44 runs batted in. A right-hand hitter steps in. Third baseman Mark Ellis in on the edge of the grass. Kaufman's first pitch is a little bit high for ball one. Brooks Bedeau, right-hand hitter against the left-hander Kaufman. Again, they're in on the corners at first and third. Now the 1-0 pitch. And another pitch thrown that's out of the strike zone, just a little bit low and away for ball two. Kaufman was sensational in the regional, allowing just 3 walks in 18 innings. Now the 2-0 pitch. A fastball is high, ball 3. And perhaps a case of the butterflies here, as John has struggled to get comfortable on the mound and get in a little rhythm. Now here's the 3-0 pitch. And that's low. Walked him on 4 pitches. And that's how the ball game begins, as Brooks Bedeau draws a walk. Now here's the Florida State third baseman Adam Farrow. He's hitting .327, 5 home runs, 46 runs batted in, 72 hits on the year. Another right-hand batter. Kaufman to the belt, the hesitation, and now the throw to first. Again, the Gator third baseman Mark Ellis playing tight. Seminoles love the bunt. Both teams play the small game very effectively. Here's the pitch on the way, and that is down low. Now Castaldo will go to the mound. He'll hand the ball to Kaufman and have a few words with the junior left-hander.
Got to be very intimidating for a young man to come into a ballpark this size with the kind of crowds that you have, and you got to have these butterflies. Chris Benson, who is the #1 pitcher in the country, most likely, came out here yesterday and he got rocked in the first inning, had a lot of trouble settling down.
Kaufman comes to the belt, and the pitch. There's a strike called at the letters. FSU hitting .325 as a team. They're scoring 8.8 runs a game. Again, Kaufman will throw it to first base. Gator first baseman today, Matt Duncan. A ball and a strike to Adam Farrow. Here's the pitch on the way, swung on. One hopper to Ellis at third, to Eckstein at second for one. Relay to first. It's a Gator double play right around the horn. Ellis, Eckstein, Duncan. The 5-4-3 is the Gators' 60th double play of the year.
The Seminoles average just hitting into 1 double play per ball game. But right away, the Gators turn it.
Good strong pivot by the second baseman Eckstein. So now 2 out, nobody on base, and here's J.D. Drew. .390 hitter, 20 home runs, 87 runs batted in. Kaufman's first pitch, there's a strike call as Drew had shortened the bunt and bunted right through it. Drew hit 4 home runs last year, a College World Series record, including the 3 against Southern California. Here's the pitch on the way. There's a strike call right in there. So quickly, it's no balls and 2 strikes. Drew was also named to the All-College World Series Team of the Decade for the 90s. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. And John Kaufman battles back nicely from making his first 5 pitches balls to get a double play ball and a strikeout to one of the nation's best hitters. No runs, no hits, no errors. Middle of the first, FSU nothing, and the Gators coming up on the Gator Baseball Network. With Bob White, I'm Mick Hubert. Back here at Rosenblatt Stadium, the Gators will send David Eckstein, Mark Ellis, Brad Wilkerson, the first three hitters. Then Chuck Hazard, John Tamargo, Eric Castaldo. And the lower third of the batting order, Matt Duncan, Chris Chisholm, and Rick Eckstein getting a start in left field, batting ninth.
The Garnet and Gold of FSU have taken their positions on the field. Let's take them around. Jeremy Morris is out in left. J.D. Drew is in center. Steve Nadeau is in right field. Adam Farrow is the third baseman. Brooks Badeau is at short. Scott Zetch at second. Matt Woodward at first. Jamie Salazar is the catcher. And Randy Choate is on the mound, the left-hander. The last time the Gators saw him was on February 29th up in Gainesville. Choate had an earned run average of 1.29 coming out of that ball game. He got the win, and he went 7 innings, giving up just 6 hits and 1 run. It was earned, and he struck out 11 Florida Gators. So Randy Choate on the mound, 6'2", 275-pounder from San Antonio, Texas, with a 15-3 mark on the year.
David Eckstein will lead it off for the Gators. Eckstein is hitting .343, 8 home runs and 58 runs batted in. Here's the first pitch from the left-hander Choate, and it's a fastball strike in the outside corner. Eckstein with 98 hits this year, single-season Gator record. Now the 0-1 pitch, another strike on the outside corner. Choate, 6'2", 175-pounder. Had a terrible College World Series a year ago. This one bounces in, and it's 1-2. Eckstein is 4 for his last 18. That coming in the 4 games of the regional. A breezy day here in Omaha and blowing heavily out toward right field. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball is up and away. And that will even the count. The Gators are hitting .320 as a team, scoring an average of 8 runs a game. Choate ready, and the 2-2 pitch. That backed him away. Boy, he's got a heater. He can bring it up there in a hurry, but it's now a 3-2 count. Here's the 3-2 delivery. Swung on and a bouncing ball out to the second baseman, Scott Zetch. And he throws to Matt Woodward. And David Eckstein has been retired as he grounds to his counterpart, 4-3.
Left field is .332 at this ballpark. 408 in center, .332 down the right field line, and .360 in the power alleys.
That'll bring up Mark Ellis. Ellis hitting .358. 1 home run, 26 runs batted in. First pitch, fastball is high. Ball 1. Ellis is on an 11-game hitting streak. His next hit will be his 70th of the year. Swung out, and there's a blooper to right field. It's a fair ball and a base hit. Hit number 70 for Ellis. It fell in front of Steve Nadeau, just inside the right field line.
Just a soft liner. Perfectly hit, just off the foul line in right field for the first hit of the ball game.
Ellis did a nice job of that ball in the outer half of the plate just to extend his arms, and nearly off the end of the bat just pushed it to right field. Here's Brad Wilkerson hitting .406, 8 home runs, 64 runs batted in. Now Choate will make a throw to first base. Keep a close eye on Ellis. Mark, one of the Gators' top base stealers, 19 for 28. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball is outside for ball 1. Wilkerson named the MVP of the East Regional Tournament. He went 9 for 16 in the regional with 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Here's the pitch. There's a strike call. Breaking ball right in there. Wilkerson was just named Collegiate Baseball second team All-American and a first team freshman All-American. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Had him fooled with the breaking ball. just the start of things here in Omaha today. Scoreless game. Gators batting in the bottom of the first inning. Now the 1-2 pitch. That's outside and low. The FSU defense makes 1.55 errors a game, a fielding percentage of .960. So in defensive numbers, they're near the bottom of the College World Series teams. Gators are second in fielding among the 8 here in Omaha. That's one of the Gators' strengths, team defense. Choate will make a throw now to first base.
Boy, Gator experience playing in this too. Gators playing 18 games versus teams in the field during the regular season. No school has played more games or won more games against this championship field than the Gators.
Here's the pitch on the way, and it's down low and inside. So that's experience of one kind. The Seminoles have the experience of the other because they have 5 players who are playing in their 3rd College World Series, whereas there are no Gators in uniform that has ever been here. Although Brian Ogle and Mark Ellis have watched games here. There's a fastball right down the chute. Strike 3 called. Wilkerson has struck out. That's 2 out. Ellis remains at first base. And that'll bring up Chuck Hazard.
Florida State is second in teams play. They have played 13 games during the regular season against teams that are here in Omaha.
Hazard hitting .364. There's a fastball strike on the inside corner. Hazard with a team best 16 home runs, 63 runs batted in. One of 3 Gators with better than 90 hits on the year. And he's on a current 5-game hitting streak. Choate to the belt. The pitch, a breaking ball. Outside, tried to backdoor Hazard. It's 1-1. Hazard with a .608 slugging percentage on the year, and still nursing that cut above the right lip. Here's the pitch swung on. There's a line drive, but curving, and it's a foul ball down the right field line. And Ellis will return to first base. Well, Hazard, though, looks a lot better now than he did a week ago, and those 16 stitches really made him look like he had gone 15 rounds with Mike Tyson. He had some good cuts in the batting practice before the game. Gators were forced to take batting practice yesterday indoors due to the rainy weather. They had an hour on the field here on Thursday afternoon. Again, Choate will throw it to first base. Gators had a rather long travel day on Wednesday. Got in late afternoon, settled in, and had a full day of activities on Thursday for practice yesterday, and now finally the game. They pitch out, and a runner not going. Ball 2 and strike 2. Hazard went 8 for 18 in the East Regional with 2 home runs and 5 runs batted in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The left-hander Choate comes set, and the pitch swung on and fouled back behind the plate. Choate with 15 victories. Nobody won more. Chris Benson was going for his 15th last night as the Collegiate Player of the Year, but Miami got to him for 3 runs in the first inning, and the Hurricanes beat Clemson last night. Here's the pitch from Choate, swung on. There's a ground ball hit to second, fielded by Zetz, and he throws to first to retire Hazard. 1 hit, no runs, 1 left. We played 1 inning from Omaha. Florida State nothing, and the Gators nothing on the Gator Baseball Network.
This stadium continues to have fans pouring into it. finding their seat in the sun.
Well, for the Seminoles, here in the top of the second inning, it'll be the left fielder Jeremy Morris to lead it off. Hitting .381 with 13 home runs, 87 runs batted in. He's had a fine season. Kaufman ready, and here's his first pitch. Down low and gets away from Castaldo. Kaufman turned out had a very good first inning. Despite throwing the first 5 pitches out of the strike zone, he threw just 10 pitches in the first inning. 5 balls and 5 strikes. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing at a miss. A big cut by Morris. Morris holding the NCAA single season doubles record with 35. The 1-1 delivery. There's a fastball that's up. Now 2-1. In the regional at Stanford, Florida State hit .389. 40 runs, 56 hits. Here's the 2-1 pitch now. Fastball right in there.
Another impressive number on Jeremy Morris, 87 RBI during the year.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Kaufman now ready. And the pitch. That's high. Tried to overthrow that a bit. And now 3-2. Morris from Quincy, Florida. The full count pitch. Check swing and strike 3 called on the outside corner. Morris out on strike. So Kaufman has now fanned Drew and Morris back to back. Boy, and that's just a great location for that pitch. Knee high outside corner.
Throws Morris.
That'll bring up the DH, Scooby Morgan. Left-hand hitter. Kaufman's first pitch. Fastball right in there for strike 1. Scooby Morgan hitting .319, has 13 home runs and 40 runs batted in. Now the 0-1 delivery. Swung on. There's a long fly ball hit deep to right. Will it go foul? It is going to be a foul ball. Woo-hee! That ball was hit a country mile, but the wind actually may have forced it to go further to the right than they wanted. A long strike.
Our eyes switched down to that first base umpire to watch the call. And you're right, that wind kept pushing the ball, but it was really hit.
Now the wind blowing out to right, blowing exactly the opposite that it did yesterday when it was kind of a crosswind from right to left. It's more of a left to right, but almost predominantly straight out to right at 15 miles per hour. Kaufman has regrouped. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball is outside. The Seminoles this year hit 65 home runs. And the Gators hit 65 home runs. FSU played 2 more games. There's a ball down in the dirt, and it's 2-2. This guy was the MVP of the West Regional. All he did was hit 2 home runs and bat .385, and had a great trip to Palo Alto. 2-2 pitch. Fastball just missed. Another full count. Kaufman was 4-3 in his first 7 decisions. Has been 6-1 in the last 7. 3-2 pitch now. Inside, and he lost him. Another walk. Second walk allowed. That will bring up the right-handed hitting second baseman, Scott Zetch. Zetch this year hitting .350, 6 home runs, 58 runs batted in. Kaufman to the belt, and now we'll throw to first.
He's a first-team All-ACC selection at second base.
Morgan being held on by Duncan at first. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball up and away for a ball. Morgan is not much of a base stealing threat. Only attempted 5 this year. He's stolen 3 successfully. Kaufman to the belt. The pitch. Fastball high, and Castaldo now will go to the mound again to try and settle down Kaufman. It seems like when he tries to overthrow and overpower, he's been up. Made the great pitch to Farrow to hit into the double play in the first. Then made fine pitches to Drew and Morris. Here's the 2-0 delivery. That's fastball high again. Ball 3. Runner at first base. 1 out. Gators nothing, Seminoles nothing. Kaufman is ready. The pitch is a fastball right in there, says home plate umpire Tony Thompson. Gator infield hoping for another double play. Kaufman again will throw to first.
Yeah, Seminoles still looking for their first hit of the game. Both runners have gotten on by walks.
Now the 3-1 pitch. Swung on. There's a ball hit sharply down the right field corner. It's in there. It rattles on up into the seats. It'll be a ground rule double. And that will mean Morgan will have to go back and stop at third. Zetch with a ground rule double just inside the right field line. And now Florida State with runners at second and third. That's the first hit of the game as Scott Zetch went the other way with this ball.
17 double on the year for Zetch.
Ball hit fair, then ricocheted to the foul area. Hit the wall and bounced back over the wall fair for a ground rule double.
And that's the Seminoles' 150th double of the year. Here's Steve Nadeau, the right fielder. Gators are in on the corners, but they're deep at second and short. Kaufman to the belt. The pitch. There's a fastball strike in the outside corner. Nadeau is hitting .292. No home runs. 16 runs batted in. He was a member of the West Regional All-Tournament team last week. Seminoles with the game's first scoring threat. Morgan at third, Zetch at second. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on. There's a base hit to right field. Scooby Morgan scores. And they're going to hold Zetch. Fine throw by Wilkerson. And Florida State has taken a 1-0 lead as Nadeau singles to right, driving in his 17th run.
Back-to-back hits going to the opposite field. One a double and this one a single by Steve Nadeau. And the Seminoles are on the board, and they'll have runners on the corners, and there's still only 1 out. John Kaufman in a little second inning trouble, and that's going to bring out Gary Henderson, the pitching coach, to the mound, and they're going to have a meeting with the entire infield.
The catcher, Jeremy Salazar, will be the next hitter. Before he steps in, though, we'll step out. 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Florida Gator Baseball Network, a division of Paxson Sports. Well, the Gators were beaten by the Seminoles 11-2 in Gainesville. Had the Friday night game rained out. Then the two went to Tallahassee, and the Gators won 6-4 and 11-10. First Florida sweep in Tallahassee since 1977. But FSU has drawn first blood here in Omaha with a 1-0 lead here at the top of the second. And they've got runners on the corners with only one away. Salazar hitting .271. 5 home runs, 36 runs batted in. And Kaufman again will make a throw to first base. Salazar is a sophomore, right-hand hitter. Kaufman to the belt, the pitch. Fastball right there for a strike. FSU hitting .325 for the season, but in the last 20 games, hitting just .272. Again, Kaufman with a throw to first. Keep Nadeau close to the bag. Kaufman looks in. Castaldo flashes the signs. Now the pitch. There's a strike call to the inside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. Zetch at third. Nadeau running at first. Gator infield hoping for the double play. The 0-2 pitch. Just missed. Now 1-2. After Salazar, it'll be the number 9 hitter. First baseman Matt Woodward. Kaufman to the belt. There goes the runner. Here's the pitch low. The throw down. It'll be high, and there'll be a stolen base for Nadeau. Zetch, the runner at third, stayed right put. But Nadeau steals second.
Nadeau had a good jump on Kaufman that time. Even though Castaldo's throw was a little high, it was way too late to make the tag.
Now the 2-2 pitch. Swung out and fouled off the foot of Salazar as it rolls out toward first baseman Matt Duncan. So now this becomes really a key hitter. Because by Nadeau stealing second, the Seminoles have stayed out of a double play situation. And the situation now calls for a strikeout very badly. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runners at second and third. A run in as Florida State leads 1-0. Kaufman pitching from the stretch. 2-2 delivery. Just missed inside with a fastball. It's now 3-2. He's had 3 full counts this inning. Kaufman looks in, gets the sign. The left-hander comes set. And the pitch. Outside, he walked him. And the bases are now loaded.
Third walk given up by John Kaufman. Still only 1 out. Be a great time for the Gators to pull off their second double play of the ball game and get out of this inning before any further damage.
Matt Woodward now stepping in. Right-hand hitter batting at .288. No home runs, 24 runs batted in. The inning began when Jeremy Morris was called out on strikes. Then it's been a walk, a double, a single, and another walk. Bases loaded, 1 out. Kaufman from the stretch. The pitch, swung on, fly ball hit to right. Wilkerson there to make the catch. Zetch tagging from third. He will score, and Florida State leads 2-0. Woodward on the sacrifice fly. Both Nadeau and Salazar remained at their bases.
Hit on the line, and Wilkerson tried to make a throw to the plate to get him, but it was in way too late. As that ball was hit deep enough to score the second run of the ball game for the Seminoles.
So now 2 out. Back to the top of the batting order. Here's Brooks Badeau. The pitch from Kaufman. There's a strike, a fastball on the outside corner. Badeau now hitting .358. He walked to lead off this ball game. Was erased on a double play. Nadeau at second, Salazar at first. 2 out with 2 in. And the pitch. Fastball is high. Seminoles making their 15th College World Series appearance, their 3rd in a row, and their 8th in the last 11 years. Kaufman ready, and the pitch. Fastball inside. Ball 2, strike 1.
3 pitches in the 30.
Kaufman, who made 10 pitches in the first inning with the help of a double play and a strikeout, got out of trouble, but he's already made 30 pitches here in inning number 2. Now the 2-1 pitch, swung on and fouled back onto the roof.
Brooks Badeau reached base safely in 53 consecutive games this season. Also was named first team All ACC.
Two in, 2 on, 2 out, and 2-2. Kaufman comes set. Now we'll step off the rubber and force Nadeau back to second base. Well, in the regional tournament in which the Gators won 4 straight, the pitching staff had an ERA of 2.70. The opponents hit .260. For the year, Gator opponents are hitting .268. Now the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled back onto the screen. Coming back right below us. We're situated here. Swung around on the first base side behind the plate. And an excellent vantage point. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kaufman set. Now the pitch. High curve ball. Ball 3 and strike 2. Andy Lopez motioning to his defense to watch those runners who will be moving now. Nadeau at second, Salazar at first. 2 out. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung out, and there's a fly ball hit deep to right. Wilkerson going back at the track, way back. He's there to make the catch in front of the wall in right field. Badeau hit it well and hoped the wind would do the rest, but there was room for Wilkerson at the track. For FSU in the second, the Seminoles get 2 runs. They did it with 2 hits. They left 2 men on base. We go to the bottom of the second with our score. Florida State 2 and the Gators nothing on the Gator Baseball Network. Tamargo is hitting .328, has 4 home runs and 41 runs batted in. And he has a 9-game hitting streak. Left-hander Randy Chodretti. Here's his first pitch. Swung out and slapped foul down the left side. Tamargo went 8 for 18 in the regional with a home run and 7 runs batted in. Hit the home run against NC State. There's the pitch outside. On the corner, called a strike by Tony Thompson. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch Swung on, ground ball, a couple of hops to Zetch at second, and he throws to first baseman Woodward to retire Tamargo. That's 3 Gators now have hit ground balls to the FSU second baseman. One out. Now here's the catcher, Eric Castaldo. Castaldo hitting .319. 8 home runs and 38 runs batted in. There's a strike right in there. Choate with a good off-speed delivery. Starting out Castaldo that way. Seminoles leading it 2-0. Here's the pitch outside. That evens the count at 1-1. The Gators hit .342 in the regional last week. They scored 37 runs on 53 hits. The 1-1 pitch. Swung out, and there's a little looper. Base hit into right center field. Eric Castaldo with a base hit. And like Mark Ellis, he too has his 70th hit of the year.
Just another one of those soft liners. Just out of the reach at second base and falls into right center field. Second hit for the Gators.
That'll bring up Matt Duncan, a .308 hitter. Duncan has delivered 5 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Choate ready, and the pitch. Line foul down the right side. Duncan's got a 6-game hitting streak. Has 1 hit in each of the last 6 games. Now the pitch from Choate. Fastball up and away. And it's ball 1 and strike 1. In the West Regional, FSU pitching staff had a 1.50 earned run average. There's a strike on the inside corner. 1-2. The opponent hitters batted just .161 against the FSU pitchers in Palo Alto last weekend. Choate to the belt. The 1-2 pitch backed him away as Duncan skipped out of there. It's now 2-2. They play Duncan a shade toward right field and medium depth. Here's the 2-2 pitch, swung out and driven foul down the right side. Boy, right now so far, the left fielders in this game are the loneliest men in the ballpark.
Yeah. And the outfield has been shaded to the right on most batters today. Way to the right on left-handed batters.
Ball 2 and strike 2. And the pitch on the way. Swung on, sharply hit, base hit into right field. Castaldo will stop at second base. Back-to-back base hits.
That ball was sharply hit. Low to the ground. Right into right field. No chance for any infielder to get to it. And again, all the action going to right field.
Well, now Jeremy Salazar, the Seminole catcher, out to the mound to talk to Choate. Castaldo at second. Duncan is the runner at first base. Here's Chris Chisholm. Chisholm, a left-hand hitter, batting at .342. 4 home runs and 32 runs batted in. Third baseman Adam Farrow, even with the bag and creeping in a little bit. The pitch from Choate. Fastball outside, ball 1. Gators trying to battle back after FSU scored 2 in the top of the inning. Gators have the tying runs on base with 1 out. The pitch on the way. Check swing, but a strike on the outside corner. Chisholm's had a remarkably consistent season. Hitting .342. Last 20 games, hitting .339. Now the pitch from Choate. Fastball strike in the outside corner. Chisholm taking it all the way. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Rick Eckstein is in the on-deck circle. Now the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out on a curveball. Chisholm looking fastball. 2 out.
Well, the College World Series celebrating 50 years of existence. Gets bigger every year.
Well, now it's up to Rick Eckstein. The Gator left fielder has just 1 hit in his last 22 at-bats. Hitting .197. Chance to drive in a run for the Gators. Castaldo second, Duncan first. Fastball down low and inside. Choate trying to pitch out of trouble here. The left-hander from San Antone to the belt. And the pitch. Fastball strike in the outside corner. Choate with a 2.72 earned run average. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, ground ball. Left side. Badeau at short. Flips to Zetch at second to force out Duncan. And that's it for Florida in the second. The Gators with a mild threat. Back-to-back hits, but no runs. 2 men left. After 2, our score, Florida State 2 and the Gators nothing on the Gator Baseball Network.
Hi, I'm Andy Mason.
Now the organist, Lambert Bartak, entertaining the crowd here at Rosenblatt Stadium. He's been on the organ here at the ballpark for over 30 years. And he told me before the game he's only been thrown out of here 1 time. He played a song that infuriated the umpires about 5 years ago, and they removed him from the ball game. A likable guy playing a 1935 Hammond B3 organ. Lambert Bartak, a longtime Omaha resident who's seen a lot of ball games here at Rosenblatt Stadium. Before we move to the top of the third, let's pause 10 seconds now for station identification. From Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska, this is the Florida Gator Baseball Network, a division of Paxson Sports. Along with Bob White, I'm Mick Hubert here at the ballpark in Omaha. Our producer, Steve Woodard, informing us that John Kaufman is warming up in front of the dugout because of the extra long time between innings here due to network television. You're only allowed so many pitches on the mound, so Kaufman's using a lot of pitches in front of the dugout and then takes his pitches on the mound. Here to make the pitch call is Bob White.
Thank you, Mick. Kaufman is ready to go. He kicks and fires, and the pitch is down low for ball 1. Adam Farrow leading things off for the Seminoles. We'll look at their 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Farrow bounced into a double play. His first time up there is a strike call. It's 1-1. It was a 5-4-3 double play after the leadoff man had gotten out in the first. If you're just tuning in, it's 2-0. The Seminoles are out in front. Here's a pitch that's low and inside for a ball. It's 2-1. The Garnet and Gold picked up 2 runs in the second inning. And we're in the top half of inning number 3. Nobody on. Kaufman's pitch, bouncer to Tamargo, diving for it. It's short, cannot come up with it, and it goes into left field. For the 3rd hit of the ball game for the Seminoles, a leadoff single by Adam Farrow.
That's the first base hit to left field of the ball game. As Farrow got that bat head out in front of it and pulled it. The Seminoles had been 0 for 6 when they've tried to either pull or strike out. They've been very successful going the other way, but they lead off the 3rd with a base hit to left.
J.D. Drew, the big left-handed batter, will step in. With Kaufman on the mound, he'll go to the bag at first with a toss. Runner back in plenty of time.
Paul Rigdon now has gotten up and has gone down to the Gator bullpen to begin warming up.
Farrow taking the lead off first. Kaufman stepping off the rubber. Farrell 13 for 15 in stolen bases. The big power hitter Drew swings at this. A line shot to second. Eckstein's got it. A throw back to first. They doubled him up. A line drive caught by Eckstein at second, who immediately turned around and threw it back to Duncan, covering the bag at first before Perot could get back. And there's 2 out and nobody out.
Boy, sharply hit, but a fine play by Eckstein and Gators' second double play.
Kaufman ready to pitch. Line drive. First pitch right at Mark Ellis at third. The inning's retired. Bingo. Seminoles go down quickly after getting a leadoff single in their half of the third. No runs, 1 hit. Nobody left on. We've played 2.5 of the score. FSU 2, Florida nothing. Back with more in a moment on the Gator Baseball Radio Network.
In any sport, at any skill level,
Bob White along with Vic Hubert back here at Rosenblatt Stadium for the 50th College World Series. Third game of the series. 2 Florida teams, the Gators and the Seminoles. With FSU on top 2-0 here in the bottom half of the third inning. You never thought early this morning that this day would turn out as pretty as it has, but it is a beautiful day here in the heartland of the country. Temperatures in the low 70s now. Plenty of sunshine. The Gators will start at the top of their order with Eckstein, Ellis, and Wilkerson. We're even in the hit department, but the all-important run department, the Seminoles hold that 2-0 lead. Eckstein bounced out to second his first time up. Came into this ball game batting .343. Choate on the mound. And the pitch to the left-hander. Butted down the third base side. Going to be fielded. The throw. He got him just in time. Perot playing in on the grass at third. Played it well. Fired a bullet to Matt Woodward at first. And Woodward caught him there by a half step.
Yeah, he was just in front of the bag and had good forward momentum coming in there and used his glove and calmly got in front of it and made a nice throw as the first out has been retired.
Mark Ellis, the batter, singled his first time up. He shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes the ball. Ball 1. Randy Choate, 15-game winner of the season's next pitch is a strike. 1-1. Choate, a long, lean young guy, 6'2", 175-pounder. Here's his next pitch. Little inside for a ball, 2-1. Brad Wilkerson stands in the on deck looking at every pitch that comes in. Here's a bouncer up the middle. Played well. It's short. By Badeau to first for the put out. Had him played toward the bag at second. And Badeau was in the right place at the right time for the second out of the inning for the Gators. Here's Brad Wilkerson. Struck out his first time up.
That's 6 ground ball outs now for the Gators in this game.
Wilkerson, the big left-hander, takes the first pitch for a ball. Ball 1, a little high. Wind continues to kick up, throwing from left to right. Again, he misses outside. 2-0. Sure, you can hear that wind sometimes kicking up out here in the prairies. And the pitch. Strike right on the inside part of the plate. It's 2-1. Wilkerson with a team-leading .406 average. Now time is called down the right field line. The first base umpire walking down the line and signaling to some of the fans out there in the right field area. Now we're ready to go again. Pitch misses outside, and it's 3-1. Wilkerson leads this team with walks, 71 on the year. And there's ball 4. A 2-out walk to Brad Wilkerson, drawing his 72nd walk of the year. Chuck Hazard will come to bat. Florida came into this ball game with a 48-16 mark. Number 2 seed in the tournament. Pitches up high for a ball 1. Alabama seeded number 1 with a 9th inning home run yesterday to win their ball game. Miami also winning yesterday. And the pitch. Bouncer third. Scooped up by Fro. The throw to second for the force. Score it as a 5-4 putout. And the Gators, no runs, no hits, 1 man left on. After 3 full innings, score remains FSU 2, Florida nothing on the Gator Baseball Radio Network.
Needs to have a good inning here.
Scooby Morgan will lead things off. The left-handed batter takes the first pitch outside. Ball 1. We are in Omaha, Nebraska. College World Series as Kaufman's pitch is down in the dirt. Ball 2. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast wherever you may be. Listening to this game. We'll bring you all the Florida games of the World Series. Here's a ball low and inside. And Kaufman's off to a rocky start. First 3 pitches out of the strike zone.
He's had either a 3-ball count to every hitter leading off an inning or a single. Now, he went 3-2 to Morris, who led off the second and then struck him out. But he's made 50 pitches in the first 3 innings, 26 strikes, 24 balls.
Kaufman ready to work after a talk with Castaldo. Ball 4 up and in. Walked him on 4 straight pitches.
You know, sometimes guys just have trouble pitching to certain hitters. I mean, here's Scooby Morgan, a nice hitter, but, you know, a left-hand hitter. And the left-hander Kaufman has walked him twice. First time he walked him back in the second. Morgan scored the first run of the game.
Scott Zetch, the second baseman, doubled and scored in the second. Nobody out, 1 on. Kaufman will go to first, keep Morgan close. Kaufman looking out for his sign from Eric Castaldo. Here's the pitch. Bunt showing, pulled back, call strike. Zetch, a .350 hitter coming into this game. Bats from the right side. Ellis right on the edge of the grass at third. Tamargo shades toward the bag at second. Toss to first, back in time. Outfield, straight away. Now they're a little shaded to the right. Plenty deep. Pitch misses. 1-1. Paul Rigdon continues to throw under the watchful eye of Gary Henderson in the bullpen. Kaufman will go to first with a soft toss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Matt Duncan holding the runner. Morgan at first. Nobody out. Top of the 4th. 2-0 FSU. Kaufman from the belt. Swung on and fouled. Into the Gator dugout, where it's fielded by Coach Kling. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Seminoles in their traveling gray uniforms, trimmed in garnet and gold. Gators in their white, trimmed in blue and orange. Again, Kaufman going to first. Morgan takes a short lead off the bag at first. Time is called again. Wilkerson shaded a little toward that line, that foul line in right field. To this point of the game, that's where FSU's been going with it. Pushing that ball out to the right. Here's a call strike. He is called out on strikes. Kaufman's 3rd strikeout of the ball game.
Well, that was good work there by Kaufman, because that was the guy that hit the ground rule double in the 2nd inning, and he made a beautiful pitch right there at the knees. Almost impossible for Zetch to hit.
Steve Nadeau, who caused some damage back in the 2nd inning with a RBI single. Here's the pitch, a bouncer foul down the third base side, and will roll all the way out to the Gator bullpen. Florida occupying the third base dugout. Opening game for both teams in this College World Series. More off the bag at first. Here's the toss over as Morgan goes back quickly. Nadeau, a .292 hitter when he came into this ball game, creeping near that 300 mark after getting a leadoff single. Kaufman from the belt. A look to first. The pitch. Bouncer to second. Eckstein to Tamargo. To Duncan. The 3rd double play of the ball game for the Florida Gators, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. We go to the Gator half of the 4th inning with the score remaining. The Seminoles 2, the Gators nothing on the Gator Baseball Radio Network.
The All-Tel Mobile Sports Report.
We're all even in the hit department with 3 each. But the Seminoles out in front 2-0. Gators are trying to get an idea how to go after this Randy Choate. And his first pitch to Tamargo is up high for a ball. Ball 1. JT bounced out. The second, his first time up. Choate's pitch is down low for a ball. 2-0. Wind continues to gust from left to right. And the pitch swung on, popped up, foul territory. Let's see if there'll be a play. Nope, gonna go into the crowd, and somebody's got a 50th College World Series souvenir. I'm sure we'll get a few of those, huh, Mick, before, maybe not foul balls, but we'll go to the souvenir department.
You're going back again?
Oh, yeah. Choate looks down for a side from his catcher Salazar. He's ready to go to the Tamargo. And it's a strike call. Evens the count 2-2. Choate's pitch again. Breaking pitch swung on by Tamargo. Well hit center field. Wynn's going to hold it up in plenty of time for J.D. Drew to pull it in for 1 out.
Gators have not had their leadoff man today on base. That's the first fly ball out of the ball game, too, by the way.
Eric Castaldo, who got a single his last time up in the second inning, will be the batter. Castaldo with a .319 average. Swings and misses. 0-1. Outfield at normal depth and straight away for Castaldo. Swings at this. Bunt down that third base side. Going to roll foul. And now Castaldo will have to come all the way back. And he'll have an 0-2 count on him. Florida State making their 15th appearance. In the College World Series. The city of Omaha celebrating 50 years. College World Series. A swing and a miss. Castaldo goes down swinging, 2 down. The SEC well represented in this tournament. Alabama, Florida, LSU. Here's a pitch up high for a ball, ball 1. All representing the SEC. Matt Duncan, the batter. Swings and drives this one into center field. Hit well, but it's going to be held up by the wind as J.D. Drew pedaled back to make the catch. 2 balls hit into center field in the inning, but the Gators go 1, 2, 3 in their half of the 4th. So the score still remains. The Seminoles of FSU 2, our Florida Gators nothing. More in a moment on the Gator Baseball Radio Network. Seminoles picked up their 2 runs in the second inning. That's the only score we've had. Well, we move into the top half of the 5th inning. Once again, here is Mick Huber.
All right, Bob. Let's hope that Kaufman continues on the pace that he's had the last couple of innings. He's been benefited by 3 double plays in this game, and yet still finds himself trailing 2-0. First pitch to Salazar is a fastball strike in the outside corner. Salazar walked in the second inning. From Lafayette, Louisiana, Jeremy Salazar. Here's the pitch, swung on, sharply hit, off the leg of Kaufman. The leg deadened the ball. It went right down to the mound, and Kaufman picks it up and throws him out. Nice play, 1-3 putout. Kaufman's all right. Home plate umpire Tony Thompson to the mound to see how the pitcher is, and gives him another baseball as Kaufman turned fielder there. And the ball dropped right to his foot, and he threw out the catcher Salazar. Here's the first baseman now, Matt Woodward. Sacrifice fly RBI in the second. Pitch on the way. Right there for a called strike. Woodward, right-hand hitter. He platoons at first base with Jeff Sprague. That pitch is low.
Woodward is the son of Seattle Mariners GM Woody Woodward.
Now the 1-1 pitch. Ball 2. Kaufman made 60 pitches in the first 4 innings. 60 pitches. The 2-1 delivery, swung on, bounding ball. Out to the second baseman, Eckstein up with it and throwing on to Duncan at first. Woodward has been retired. 2 up and 2 down for Florida State here in the top of the 5th inning. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Gator Baseball Network, a division of Paxson Sports. Two out, nobody on base. Here's Brooks Badeau. Badeau has walked and is flied out. The pitch swung out and fouled back, and coming back near the broadcast booth down to our right, backer first base. In the second inning, with 2 men on base, Badeau hit a long fly ball that Brad Wilkerson caught on the warning track in front of the fence and right. The 0-1 delivery. Shortens to bunt and takes it for a called strike. 0-2. Florida State 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. And the Gators no runs, 3 hits, no errors. Kaufman takes a deep breath. Now ready. 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. He struck him out on 3 pitches. That's the best inning yet for John Kaufman in the 5th. 2 ground balls and a strikeout. Now the Gators have got to get some base runners and get some runs. Halfway, Chris Moeller hit his second home run of the game, a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 9th to propel top-seeded Alabama into a 7-5 victory. Last night, Miami beat Clemson. Bottom of the 5th inning, and Chris Chisholm will lead it off for Florida. He struck out the first time up. The first pitch, fastball, a little low for a ball. In the first 4 innings, Randy Choate, 37 strikes out of 61 pitches. There's a fastball, and it's low again for ball 2. The only scoring in the game coming in the top of the 2nd when Florida State got a pair of runs. Choate ready. The 2-0 pitch. There's one right in there. Chisholm was taking it all the way. Now the 2-1 delivery, swung out and fouled and into the seats back of third base. Chisholm has hit safely in 9 of his last 10 games. Lefty against lefty. The 2-2 pitch, swung out and one hop to the shortstop. Badeau up with it, throwing to first, and a close play. Chisholm has been thrown out. 5 in a row now retired by Randy Choate. A pitcher's duel here, a 2-0 lead for Florida State, as Rick Eckstein will come up with 1 gone. Eckstein 0 for 1. A fielder's choice in the 2nd. Here's the pitch. Fastball high. Ball 1. Now the Gators are the number 2 seed. That's the highest they've ever been here at Omaha. Fastball inside. 2-0. The Gators were seeded 5th both in '88 and in '91. In their 2 previous trips to the College World Series. Here's the 2-0 pitch. There's a fly ball hit to right center field. J.D. Drew in the gap will make the running catch. And the Gators have gone 1-2-3 in the 5th. Our score remains Florida State 2 and the Gators nothing on the Gator Baseball Network. Now the ground crew out here manicuring this field as we move to the top of the 6th inning. Florida State 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. Gators no runs, 3 hits, and no errors. Andy Lopez, 7th coach to bring 2 different teams to the College World Series. In fact, Andy is the only coach who's never lost a game. He's got a perfect winning percentage here in the College World Series, as his 1992 Pepperdine club went 4-0 and won the College World Series championship. Larry Battelle spoke with Ron Maestri, the NCAA Selection Committee chairman, about the head coach of the Florida Gators.
Well, Andy's, I was one of my first years as chair. Got the chance to present the championship trophy, and I couldn't be any happier for any coach. and he just does a great job. I think he's a great tribute to the coaching profession. Very level-headed, has a great rapport with his kids, with his players, with his administration. He's just a quality individual, and Florida, I'm sure, is very proud of him. They're very lucky to have that quality of a coach, and he's going to win because Andy's got the kind of atmosphere about him that's conducive to young people, and I think that's very important in today's society.
The words of the NCAA Selection Committee Chairman Ron Maestri, who's the head coach at the University of New Orleans. Well, we moved to the top of the 6th inning. Florida State leading it 2-0. Now, we talked about the strength of this field, and I think what's most notably absent are the West Coast teams. Southern California's won 11 NCAA titles, but no Pac-10 teams, no West Coast teams. Adam Farrow swings on the first pitch, pops it sky high. Gator first baseman Matt Duncan there to make the catch on the infield grass. Farrow on the first pitch pops out to Duncan. One gone here in the top of the 6th inning as Farrow pops out. Six in a row retired now by John Kaufman. Here's J.D. Drew. He has struck out and lined into a double play. Kaufman delivers, and a swing at him is, and a home run cut from Drew there. Drew hitting .386. First team All ACC, All American as well. Here is the pitch. Fastball outside. Drew was named the ACC Player of the Week this year on 3 consecutive occasions. Kaufman ready. Here comes the 1-1 delivery. Off-speed pitch, a little high. 2-1. Florida State leading 2-0. Top of the 6th inning. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball a little bit low. And now 3-1. Dangerous hitter in the on-deck circle. Left fielder Jeremy Morris. Let's see if Drew is taking here. The 3-1 pitch. He swings and it's a high fly ball deep in the right center field. Back is Chisholm and Wilkerson, and it will be the Gators. Brad Wilkerson there at the wall to make the catch. Chisholm ran right into him. The crowd hushed to see if the ball had been caught. And when they saw that Wilkerson had it in his glove, they roared their approval.
Oh, they collided just as the ball came in. All 3 of them, the ball and the 2 players. And Wilkerson kept his eye on the ball and made the catch. Chisholm tried to call him off.
Chisholm jumped right into him, but Wilkerson made the catch. Drew just missed a home run. Jeremy Morris now the hitter with 2 out, nobody on base. Right-hand batter, the pitch. There's a strike at the knees. I think that may have been the first time all year we've seen 2 Gators collide in the outfield, other than, converging in on a ball and hit shallow. That was a high, lazy type fly. The wind aided probably by a good 15 feet. No balls and 2 strikes to Morris, hitting .378. He lined out to the first baseman, Duncan. Here's the pitch on the way. Check that, make it the third baseman, Ellis. The last time up there. A ball and 2 strikes. Right-hand hitter Jeremy Morris waving that bat. Now the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Kaufman is now retired 8 straight. It's now time for the Gator offense to pick up. We go to the last of the 6th inning in Omaha with the score. Florida State 2 and the Gators nothing on the Gator Baseball Network. And the Gators will send up the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in Andy Lopez Gator batting order. Mark Ellis 1 for 2. Randy Choate, 42 strikes, 72 total pitches in 5 innings. There's a breaking ball to start off Ellis, and it's low for ball 1. Ellis with a first inning single, but was left stranded. The pitch swung on and fouled back up onto the screen behind the plate. 332 feet down the lines here, Rosenblatt. 360 to the alleys. 408 feet to straightaway center field. The wind continues to blow out toward right field, about 15 miles per hour. The 1-1 delivery. There's a backdoor strike in the outside corner. With the hit in the first inning for Ellis, it extended his hitting streak to 12 games in a row. Now the 1-2 pitch. Swung on. There's a fly ball hit to left. Coming in the left fielder. Can't make the catch. Falling in front of Jeremy Morris. And Mark Ellis has a 2-hit game for the Gators, who now about hit the Seminoles 4-3. And that's the first Gator leadoff man to reach base in this game.
First time the Gators have had a leadoff man on, and maybe that's the spark that they need to get things going.
Ellis will be watched closely now by Choate. Here's Brad Wilkerson. He swings on the first pitch and bounces it foul down the first base side. Ellis will have to come back. Third baseman Adam Farrow is playing very tight on the infield grass, while the first baseman Woodward has to attend to the base runner. Wilkerson struck out in the first, walked in the third. He's hitting .404 right now. Here's the pitch from Choate. Look out behind him, a wild pitch. Ellis will easily move to second base. A ball thrown behind Wilkerson that simply got away, slipped out of the hand of Choate for a wild pitch. Now a beach ball comes out of the stands in left field. Well, the people in left field bleachers have had an eventful World Series already. Last night was one of the craziest things I think anyone's ever seen in that game, when the Clemson left fielder picked up a ball that was in play and threw it into the seats. And a run scored, a big run. The ball was hit inside the foul line for a double, and he thought it was a foul ball. He picked it up, tossed it into the seats. All right, ready to go. 1-1 pitch. Wilkerson swings and fouls it back. Bob, you ever seen that before?
Never before. Recently we saw it in Major League Ball where I handed somebody in the stands the ball and then realized he thought that was the third out, and there wasn't a third out, so he had to go back and get the ball from the fan. But last night he just thought he was being a nice guy, and he tossed away a run.
There's the 1-2 pitch, and that misses. A little outside. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Wilkerson. Wilkerson with a great season, both at the plate and on the mound. Now the 2-2 delivery. That's inside, and this one gets away. Here's Ellis. He'll take third. Now let's see if they score this a pass ball or a wild pitch. It was off the glove of Salazar. At any rate, Ellis at third base with nobody out. Now the catcher Salazar will go to the mound to try and calm down Randy Choate. They still have not ruled on the play. The count is ball 3 and strike 2. We'll take another look at the replay monitor up here. That should be a pass ball, I would think. But no, a wild pitch. I guess that's the last time I'll prejudge the official score. Ball was right off the tip of the glove. From the stretch, the pitch. Outside, he walked him.
And the Gators have tying runs on. Nobody out.
Runners on the corners now. And here's Chuck Hazard. He's grounded out and also retired on a fielder's choice, completing the third inning, so he's 0 for 2. 361 hitter. In the last 29 games, Hazard has driven in 43 runs with 14 home runs. Certainly has power to all fields. Choate will pitch from the stretch. And the pitch outside for a ball. This is the Gators' best opportunity here. Although they threaten with runners at first and second and one out in the second inning. Now they've got them on the corners with nobody out. And Mike Martin, realizing perhaps the severity of the situation, goes to the mound to try and settle down his outstanding sophomore left-hander Choate, who in 5+ innings has scattered 4 hits, walked a couple, struck out 3. The inning began when Ellis singled to left, but then 2 wild pitches moves Ellis to third, and then Wilkerson has drawn a walk, his second of the game. The Gators are 6-1 against Florida State in postseason play. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's outside. Ball 2. These two teams played in Omaha 5 years ago, 1991. It was an elimination game, and Mark Valdez threw a 3-hit shutout as the Gators sent the Seminoles packing. Florida won it 5-0 on that Sunday afternoon to stay alive. Here's the 2-0 pitch, swung out and fouled back behind first base. Hazard had 2 14-game hitting streaks this year. He's hitting .340 on the year with runners in scoring position. And he's got Ellis at third with Wilkerson at first. Nobody out. Gators trailing 2-0. The 2-1 pitch swung on and lined to foul down the right side. Well, now Choate will try and get the strikeout as Chuck Howell, the ace of the Florida State bullpen, begins to warm up. He assumed that ace closer role midway through the year. And you know Choate will try and reach back for something here, or perhaps try and fool Hazard with a breaking ball, but the situation calls for either a strikeout or double play, but a double play ball they would concede a run. 2-2 pitch, inside and low. John Tamargo, left-hand hitter in the on-deck circle. So a crucial opportunity for the Gators. Gators trailing at 2-0 bottom of the 6th with Ellis at third and Wilkerson at first and nobody out. Chuck Hazard waiting. Choate now ready from the stretch. 3-2 pitch. Swung on. There's a fly ball hit to left field. It will be caught by Morris, tagging Ellis at third, and he will score. And it's now a 2-1 game. Hazard with the sacrifice fly RBI, his 64th run batted in. It's now 2-1. Wilkerson stays at first base. Chuck hit that ball hard, but right at Morris in left.
And into the wind. That wind strong. In left field, blowing over to right.
Now 1 out. Here's John Tamargo. The pitch high for ball 1. So the Gators have gotten on the scoreboard. Choate to the belt. There goes the runner. Good jump. The pitch, a ball. The throw down is bad. It skips into center field. However, Wilkerson wisely will stay at second base as J.D. Drew was covering very nicely, backing up that play. Wilkerson will be credited with a stolen base. The Gators have stolen 119 bases. half the Gator victories this year have been come from behind triumphs.
Tying run now in scoring position for Florida.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung out and fouled back behind the plate. The Gators have also had 8 wins this year in their final at bat. They had a come from behind win in Tallahassee. On that Sunday game, they trailed 4-0, tied it at 4, trailed 8-4, tied it at 8, and won it 11-10. Choate to the belt. The 1-2 pitch. That's high. That evens the count. Well, a base hit here from the veteran JT could tie the game, perhaps. 1 out. Wilkerson getting a lead off second base. Eric Castaldo would be next. Now the pitch swung on and it's popped up on the infield, the right side. First baseman looking into the sky, and Matt Woodward is there to make the catch. Tamargo pops out. Two away. Now we'll bring up Eric Castaldo. Singled in the second, and he struck out in the 4th inning. Castaldo with a 5-game hitting streak. Right-hand hitter. The left-hander Choate to the belt. And the pitch. Right there for a strike. Castaldo hitting .321. He's one of the better Gators that can go the opposite field. He hits a lot of balls to right center field. In fact, I'm surprised J.D. Drew at center is playing him straight away. Here's the pitch. That's outside. And it's 1-1. Seminoles 2 runs, 3 hits. Gators 1 run, 4 hits. Now the 1-1 pitch. Fastball right there, a strike on the inside corner. He had a little extra mustard on that one as he busted it in on the fists of Castaldo. Now 1-2. Pitch on the way. Swung on, and there's a 2-hopper out to the shortstop. Badeau up with it, throwing to first, and that retires Castaldo. Well, the Gators settle for just 1 run. They do it on just 1 hit. And after 6 complete innings here in Omaha, our score, Florida State 2 and the Gators 1, playing at 7:30 Eastern Time on Monday night. Now to describe the 7th inning. Once again, here is Bob White.
Thank you, Mick. Scooby Morgan will lead things off. Scooby, the DH for the Seminoles. NCAA West Regional MVP for Scooby. Belted 2 home runs and posted a .385 batting average as a DH. Posted 4 wins in postseason tournament play. A versatile guy who has walked twice in this ball game leads things off for the Seminoles. 2-1 the score. Florida State out in front. First pitch of ball 1. John Kaufman going into his 7th inning. Misses on this one. Ball 2. 2-0. Both bullpens are silent now. Both big relievers have warmed up for the teams. And there's a strike call. It's 2-1.
Through 6 innings, Kaufman had thrown 78 pitches, while Choate had thrown 98 pitches through 6 innings.
2-1 pitch coming from Kaufman. Nobody out, nobody on. Bouncer to first. Duncan on a 1-hopper. Easy out. 1 down.
That's 9 in a row retired by Kaufman.
Scott Zetch, the second baseman, doubled and scored in the second inning, struck out in the fourth. A pitcher's duel in Omaha, Nebraska in this third game of the championship. First pitch is a ball. Ball one. Two lefties, John Kaufman, Randy Choate. 2-1. Choate leads it at this point. Kaufman looks down for his side for Castaldo. Fires. Swung on. Little blooper into right field. Wilkerson coming in. He can't get it. Off his glove. Trapped it. Just couldn't quite keep his glove on it when he hit the ground. They'll call it a hit.
Well, it was a fine running attempt by Wilkerson. And the ball hit kind of the heel of his glove and then carried him under the right knee. And that's a base hit for Zetch.
One on, one out. Steve Nadeau, the batter. Kaufman working from the belt. Steps off the rubber, fakes a throw to first. Nadeau got an RBI single in the second. Then hit into a double play in the fourth. Gators have pulled off 3 double plays in this game. Zetch with a lead on first. Duncan holding him there. Pitches up high for a ball. 1-0. Kaufman doesn't like what he sees and steps off the rubber. Now he's ready to go again. Nadeau, a right-handed batter. Infield at normal depth. Here's a toss to first. He's back in time. Outfield. Average depth, but shaded to the right. Runner off the bag at first. Here's the pitch. Hey, strike on the inside part of the plate. It's 1-1. We're all even in the hits department at 4 each. It's 2-1 FSU. Here's a runner going down, a throw to first to Duncan. Then the Tamargo for the tag at second, and they caught him in between. Nadeau got caught leaning the wrong way.
1-3-6 put out to erase Zetch.
Two down now and nobody on base.
That was a nice relay by Duncan. Getting a good angle to throw it down to Tamargo.
The 1-1 pitch to Nadeau. Low and inside. Ball 2. 2-1. Good crowd on this Saturday afternoon. There's a strike on the outside part of the plate. 2-2. Of course, this crowd will be treated to a second ball game coming up. Wichita State and LSU. Kaufman's pitch high and away. It's 3-2. Nadeau, the right fielder, got an RBI single in the second, stole the base, but took FSU out of an inning in the fourth by hitting into a double play. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Six strikeouts in the afternoon for John Kaufman as the Seminoles go down at their half of the seventh inning. Midway point of the seventh, time to get up and stretch wherever you may be as you're enjoying the third game of the College World Series, the Florida Gators and the FSU Seminoles. The Seminoles lead it 2-1. We'll be back in a moment with more on the Gator Baseball Radio Network. Duncan came into the game batting .308. Rosenblatt Stadium. Gonna be the biggest crowd these players have ever played before. Here's a swing and a bouncer. Back up the middle. Backhanded beautifully by Scott Zetch at second base. Quick reactions. And Duncan is out going after the first pitch. 4-3.
I think you've got to be a little bit more patient there than that. This guy is about to make now his 100th pitch. You know, I know you want to get base runners and everything like that, but I think you need to be a little bit more selective up there, even though he's only walked a couple.
Chris Chisholm looking for his first hit. He goes after the first pitch and bounces it to first for an easy out.
Walsh pinch hitting.
So we'll have a pinch hitter coming up for Rick Eckstein with 2 outs and 2 pitches in the inning. The Gators going after them both. So Sean Walsh will be batting for Rick Eckstein.
Sean Walsh, 36. Batting for Rick Eckstein.
Well, Walsh is hitless in his last 14 at bats. 3 for his last 24. Did not have a good regional tournament. But they're looking for maybe a long ball here, or certainly a base runner. Got to get it started, and getting somewhat late now against a very fine pitcher in Randy Choate.
Walsh's average slipped down to 248. Takes the first pitch right over the heart of the plate. Strike one. The pitch from the left-hander is down in the dirt for a ball, 1-1. Randy Choate has gone all the way for the Seminoles. Time is called again as, again, a beach ball bounces out into center field, out of the stands.
Well, they've announced the attendance here for this game, 16,064, 16064.
Sean Walsh batting for Rick Eckstein. It'll take a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bottom of the 7th, 2-1 Seminoles. Choate kicks and fires. Inside again, he misses. 3-1. Trying to keep it in on his fists. Walsh has the power to hit it out of this ballpark. He's just been struggling at the plate. There is ball 4. A 2-out walk to Sean Walsh. And we'll go back to the top of the order with David Eckstein.
Well, that's a real break, too, because Sean's struggling. And Mike Martin has to be a little concerned with a walk to the guy, although Choate showed him great respect. Now the Gators get the tying run on base for the top of the batting order. They're going to get a pinch runner, though, as Brian Ogle is going to go in and pinch run for Sean Walsh.
Brian Ogle takes his spot on first base. Walsh goes back
38, Brian Ogle.
to the bench. Well, the 2-out runner, Brian Ogle's got some speed. Here's the pitch, and it gets by, and Ogle will move down to second. See whether it's a pass ball or a wild pitch. It is a wild pitch. So Ogle, who represents the tying run, moves into scoring position at second base. David Eckstein is the batter, with a 1-ball, no strike count. Time is called as Mike Martin went out to the mound to talk to his left-hander. David Eckstein took the opportunity to go over and talk with Andy Lopez on the edge of the dugout.
And with that, Chuck Howell begins to warm up down to the FSU bullpen. And now here's where the Gators need to take advantage of another mistake. 3 wild pitches. And again, the tying run at second base. David Eckstein 0 for 3. Still a guy that you have great respect for with a bat in his hand up there in a situation like this. 98 hits on the year. The Gators are now in need of a clutch hit.
Mike Martin back to the dugout. Working from the belt will be Randy Schote. The right-hander continues to warm up in the bullpen. The pitch to Eckstein. Up and in for a ball. Ball 2. 2-0. Schote has gone over that 100 pitch mark. He still holds a 2-1 lead, but it's in jeopardy with Ogle on second with 2 outs. Misses outside. It's 3-0. He's being very careful to David Eckstein, who's 0 for 3 on the day. And the pitch. Misses inside. Walked him on 4 pitches. Back-to-back walks. And a wild pitch thrown in has put 2 Gators on with 2 outs. Mark Ellis will be the batter, and there's going to be a pitching change as Mike Martin comes in out of the dugout and signals to the bullpen for his right-hander. So back-to-back walks have told Mike Martin that his starter is losing control. He threw in this ball game 3 wild pitches in the last 2 innings. So with the pitching change coming up, we'll take a 30-second break down the line and let you know who's coming up in a moment here on the Gator Baseball Radio Network. Out of the bullpen with 2 runners on. Ogle on second. Here's the pitch. Way outside for a ball. Ball 1. David Eckstein is on first. Mark Ellis the batter. 2 for 3. He's had half the Gator hits in the game. And the pitch from the right-hander. Strike in the outside corner. 1-1. Again from the belt. A glance to second. The pitch low and outside of the dirt. 2-1. Chuck Howell in relief, trying to shut down the Gators. They got 1 in the 6th. They're threatening here in the 7th. And the pitch. Swung on. Bouncer over the bag at third line. Shot. And it is. Let's see how they're going to call it. A foul ball. Yes, but did he catch the ball before it hit the ground? They said no.
Third base umpire Kevin Gilmore right on the play. That ball was just to the left of the bag. What a fine backhand stop by Farreau, but Gilmore emphatically made the call immediately.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Everybody back in their spot. Ellis back into the box. Here's the 2-2 pitch. In the dirt. Catcher cannot find it. Now he picks it up, throws to third. Everybody's going to move up a base.
And the Gators are getting another wild pitch out of this deal. And now they've got the go-ahead runs into scoring position. They can just take advantage of it. Boy, this is a big pitch coming up because they've got the left-hander Wilkerson waiting in the on-deck circle. Runners now at second and third.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. The right-hander ready. The pitch to Ellis. Ball 4. He walked him. 3rd walk of the inning. All of this coming with 2 outs. Golden opportunity for Florida as Brad Wilkerson will step in. He has struck out and walked twice.
And it's a very concerned Mike Martin now as he's got to face a 400 hitter. And the Gators have a great opportunity now, but with 2 out. Ball game on the line right here.
Lefty and a righty working in the Seminole bullpen. Bases full of Gators. Now Martin out of the dugout. And he'll make that slow walk to the mound.
I'm not sure he's going to let Howell pitch to the left-hander. That, by the way, fourth wild pitch has tied a record here in Omaha. 4 wild pitches in a game. I think the last time it happened was Texas, 1975.
All coming in the last 2 innings. And they're going to make a change to a left-hander on the mound. So Howell came in out of the bullpen and walked on a 3-2 pitch. Mark Ellis to load him up. This all coming with 2 outs. So a new pitcher. Second one in the inning coming in for the Seminoles. With the score, FSU 2, Florida 1. We'll be back in 30 seconds here on the Gator Baseball Radio Network. Well, a golden opportunity for the Florida Gators with 2 outs. The bases will be loaded. Brad Wilkerson will be the batter. And a new pitcher, a left-hander, came in to pitch to him, Zach Diaz.
Well, Diaz leads the Seminoles in appearances on the mound. This will be his 30th appearance. A record of 2-4, an ERA rather hefty at 5.29. He has 1 save. He's pitched 47 2/3 innings. He's allowed 49 hits, 32 runs, 28 earned runs. He's walked 18. He has struck out 31. He has allowed 6 home runs. And the opponents are hitting .257 against left-hander Zach Diaz, as Mike Martin just did not want right-hander Chuck Howell to have to pitch to left-hand hitter Brad Wilkerson. So Howell pitched to one hitter and walked Ellis. Now they try and get that favorable matchup, lefty against lefty. And Brad Wilkerson, who has struck out and walked twice, comes up now with the tying run at third and the lead run at second.
2-1 our score. We're at the midway point of the 7th inning. Ready to go. Wilkerson steps into the box. And the first pitch to the left-hander is up high for a ball. Ball 1. Zach Diaz, a lefty, third pitcher of the afternoon for the Seminoles. Trying to shut down the Gators. And the pitch. There's a strike at the letters, 1-1.
Wilkerson is 4 for 6 this year with the bases loaded. A home run and 13 runs batted in this situation.
The young freshman swings at this, drives it into right field. It is well hit. Way back. It is gone, gone, gone.
Oh, my. Second grand slam of the year for Wilkerson. Hit it deep over the bleachers in right field. Oh, my.
Mr. Brad Wilkerson, he got it all and puts it over everybody meeting him up at the plate.
Yep, they came out of the dugout. Andy Lopez says, we'll let him come out in Omaha. Of course, he said that in the fall. And as an incentive, on this Saturday afternoon in Omaha, the Gators empty the dugout on a grand slam home run by Brad Wilkerson, and it's now 5-2. Oh, that ball was right in the wheelhouse, too. And he turned on it and got the barrel of that big aluminum bat out on it. And with the wind at 15 miles per hour, there was no doubt that ball was gone.
5-2, Florida out in front here in the 7th.
That's the 7th home run allowed by Diaz.
Chuck Hazard will be stepping up. Chuck's got something in his eye, and now he's calling for Trainer out of the Florida dugout to take a look in his eye.
Boy, where would this ball club be without Brad Wilkerson?
Oh, boy. Well, you knew it as soon as it went off the bat. It was high, but it came into that wind, and it hit up on the tower of the lights out there in right field. And that brought this group to their feet.
And now Brad Wilkerson goes from being a hitter to being a pitcher as he warms up down to the bullpen. So Wilkerson and Rigdon are loosening up down there in the bullpen down the left field line. The Duke, Dave Warner, attending to Chuck Hazard there as they try to wash his eye out. Duke's done a great job this year, as has the entire Gator medical staff, headed up by Chris Patrick. Or I tell you what, the support personnel, you know, is all part of the making of a championship team. And you've got a guy down there like Carlos Lascano, the equipment manager, who wishes to say hello to all of his compatriots back at the university who have done such an outstanding job of doing the little things. Guys are some unsung heroes, I'll tell you, down there in the equipment room.
Chuck Hazard steps into the box and ready to go. There's a strike in the outside part of the plate. The left-hander kicks and fires way outside and goes all the way to the backstop. 1-1.
That makes Wilkerson 5 for 7 now with the bases loaded.
Quite an athlete. Has put the Gators out in front for the first time, 5-2 this afternoon here at Rosenblatt Stadium. Here's a foul back into the crowd. 1-2.
You know, coming down from Gainesville to Orlando on the bus before departing on the airplane, we watched videotape of the 1992 World Series that Andy Lopez Pepperdine team won, and there was a grand slam that proved big in that year, and it really got the Gators fired up.
Low and inside for a ball, 2-2.
Nothing like watching, you know, World Series highlights when you're on the way to the airport to play in the World Series.
Little incentive. Swing and just got a piece of the ball as loose as his bat, swinging at it. Throw that ball out. Hazard's bat went over near the Gator dugout. Stays alive with the count 2-2. Hazard 0 for 2 officially on the afternoon. Got an RBI fly out in the 6th. Ball low and away. 3-2.
Boy, and all this coming with 2 out. That's what makes it even sweeter right now.
Yeah, it looked like a very uneventful start of the inning. 2 bounce outs, easy first pitch outs to Duncan and Chisholm. And then 3 straight walks and then the big blow. Again, a foul at the plate. Got a kick out of Mike Martin, came out of the dugout and was complaining to the home plate umpire when they were looking in Chuck Hazard's eye as he was signaling down to the umpire at home plate that they're warming up that left-hander out there in the Gator bullpen. And he wanted to get the action back underway.
You don't think Mike's ever done that, have you?
Nah. He didn't like it. Well, he couldn't have been in the best of mood after watching Wilkerson put that one over the wall. And the pitch swung on right back up the middle. Out of the reach of a shortstop, Brooks Badeau's glove. And the Gators keep the inning going with a single from Chuck Hazard.
And they've made the most of their base hits. Before that hit, the Gators had 5 runs on 5 hits. But now, back-to-back hits here in the 7th. And the inning continues. That, by the way, for Hazard, a 6-game hitting streak.
John Tamargo's 0 for 3. Swings at the first pitch. Long drive. Right field. It is a foul ball by inches.
Yeah, he got around a little bit early on it. And again, the wind was not going to help it stay fair. It was going to help it carry, but it was also going to blow it into foul territory. I really thought in the sixth when Tamargo popped out to Woodward, he was also looking for the deep fly and got underneath that pop-up last at bat.
Again, the pitch. This is up high, 1-1. Well, Randy Choate, you can close the book on him now. He will not be the pitcher of record in this ball game. He gave up 2 runs. They were both earned.
He will be the pitcher of record.
Again, the pitch is in there for a strike. 1-2. Runner on first, Chuck Hazard, 2 outs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. John Tamargo, the shortstop. And the pitch. Swung on, fly ball, left field. High, but not going anywhere. Coming in is Morris, and he makes the final out of the inning. But for the Gators, they put 4 runs on the board. They do it with just 2 hits. There were no errors. 1 man left on. We have completed 7 innings of play, and it's good news at Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska, where the Florida Gators now lead the FSU Seminoles by a 5-2 margin. Back in a moment with more.
It'll be Jeremy Salazar, Matt Woodward, Brooks Badeau here in the Seminole 8th inning. Now we're going to see Jose Zabala pinch hit for Salazar. Jose Zabala to pinch hit. And the first pitch thrown is high for ball 1. Zabala hitting .226. No home runs, 10 runs batted in, a right-hand hitter. Batting for Salazar. Here's the pitch from Kaufman. Fastball, and that misses for ball 2. Kaufman has faced the minimum over the last 5 2/3. He's faced 17 batters. Here's the pitch. That is high, ball 3. He's faced the minimum in the last 5 2/3 innings. 3 base runners, 2 taken out on double plays, the other caught stealing. Kaufman settling in, now enjoying a 3-run cushion. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and there's a strike right in there. Now the 3-1 delivery. Here it comes. There's a strike called as Zabala was 2 steps out of the batter's box on his way to first base, but a strike makes it ball 3 and strike 2. Gators 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Seminoles 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. Kaufman ready. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung out and fouled back onto the screen. Hopping up the screen and coming up just to our left. Well, the ball boys had a tough time today trying to catch those balls as they come back down the screen and take that little hop. I don't think he's caught but a couple of them. Kaufman is ready. Here comes the 3-2 delivery. Swung on, and there's a bouncing ball back at second. Tamargo gloves it, picks it up, throws to first, got him on a fine play by the Florida shortstop, John Tamargo. 1 gone here in the 8th inning. Through 7 innings, Kaufman had averaged 13 pitches an inning. Outstanding. He made just 91 pitches in the first 7 innings, and he retires the pinch hitter Zabala to lead off the 8th. Now here's the Florida State first baseman, Matt Woodward. Pitch from Kaufman. Fastball right in there for a strike. Kaufman was 4-3 after his first 7 decisions. His last 7 decisions, 6-1, 10-4 on the year. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball is inside. He's had only the 1 rough inning, and that was the second when the Seminoles got their only 2 runs. He has made 100 pitches here in this game. In pretty good command. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball is up and away. Now 2-1. In the regional tournament, the Gators allowed 2.7 runs earned run average. They've given 2 here today. Here's the pitch. Fastball strike in the outside corner. The Gators' top 5 pitchers are 31-8 this year. 2.85 ERA for Kaufman, Bond, Rodriguez, Wilkerson, and Rigdon. Here's one foul back to the screen. And you can get it done in Omaha with 5 pitchers. Because like we said, they're off tomorrow. You win Monday and you're off until Thursday. Well, there's plenty of rest here if you can continue to win. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on, hit sharply on the line. Caught by Tamargo at shortstop. 2 gone in the 8th. Now the Seminoles are 4-9 against College World Series teams. They're 1-2 against the Gators. They're 1-3 against Clemson. They're 2-4 against Miami. 2 out, nobody on base. Brooks Bedeau, the shortstop. Right-hand hitter steps in. Kaufman delivers. And right there, they're going to call out a ball. Just missing, says Tony Thompson. Ball 1. They play Bedeau shaded toward right field. Hitting .356. Kaufman delivers, and now ball 2. Castaldo flashes the signs. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fastball up and away. All 3 no strikes. Bedeau walked in the first. And then a fly ball to right in the second and was caught looking on strikes in the 5th. Two out, nobody on base. Gators 5, Florida State 2. The 3-0 delivery. There's a strike right in there. Paul Rigdon is sat down in the Gator bullpen. 3-1 pitch. There's another strike. Bedeau, first team All ACC, trying to get on base for the Seminoles. Now the 3-2 delivery. Swung on, foul back, coming right here, and on the glass right above us. I thought Steve Woodard was going to make a catch there. But it was just a bit high. But it was zeroing in on our producer. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Just missed. He walked him with 2 out. A bit low. Kaufman has now walked 5. Andy Lopez pondering the situation and no doubt keeping track of Kaufman's pitch count down there in the Gator dugout. 111 pitches for Kaufman, 61 strikes and 50 balls. Here's Adam Farrow, 1 for 3, a 3rd inning single. From the stretch, the pitch. Fastball is inside. Ball 1. Now Castaldo will go to the mound. Bullpen idle. Farrow drove in 4 runs against Marshall way back earlier in the year on February 4th. Did it again against Wake Forest. Here's the pitch. Fastball strike right in there. This guy had a great West Regional in Palo Alto. Hit .667 with 2 home runs and 6 runs batted in. Kaufman ready. And the pitch swung on. Bounding ball left side. That's into left field. That's a base hit. And now the Seminoles have runners at first and second. And J.D. Drew coming up representing the tying run in the game. That ball was a 2-hopper that was just to the left, eluding Ellis in the hole. Runners at first and second. That may get the Gator bullpen busy again. Nothing going yet. Now Wilkerson, I believe, is going to be called in the ball game. Gary Henderson comes out of the dugout bringing a glove with him, which always means that the right fielder is going to come in and pitch. What a hand for John Kaufman. Man, can he do it again? 2 complete games and 2 wins in the regional. Now trying to make it a 3rd postseason victory. He leaves the game with 7 2/3 innings into it, and he leaves with a 3-run lead as the Gators will turn it over to Brad Wilkerson. Back to tell you about his pitching numbers after we pause 30 seconds for these words on the Gator Baseball Network. Along with Bob White, Mick Hubert back here at Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha. Gators with 5 runs on 6 hits and no errors. Florida State 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. The Seminoles have Brooks Badeau at second, Adam Farrow at first. Left-hand hitter J.D. Drew will be the hitter, and he'll have to go against the left-hander Brad Wilkerson.
Wilkerson coming onto the mound with a 5-2 mark, making his 29th appearance on the mound. He has 5 saves with 58 2/3 innings, 56 hits, 22 runs, 18 of them were earned. He's walked 25 and struck out 62, and a 2.76 earned run average. So Wilkerson, who already has a grand slam home run this afternoon on the offensive side, now tries to stop the Seminoles on the defensive side from the mound. With 2 outs and 2 on, and the big gun J.D. Drew will be the batter.
Brian Hott now has gone into the ballgame defensively for Florida to play left field, and Brian Ogle has switched from left field to right field. So the Gators defensively now will have Hott, Chisholm, and Ogle in the outfield left to right. The infield will have Ellis, Tamargo, Eckstein, Duncan, Castaldo, the catcher, and Wilkerson with a 5-2 record in his 29th appearance, trying to pick up his 6th save of the year. The Gators are 4 outs away from an opening win, but these 4 outs may well indeed be the toughest of the game. Number 3 hitter J.D. Drew, 0 for 3. Strikeout, line out into a double play, and the last time up, a deep fly ball to the wall and right. Left-hand hitter Wilkerson to the belt. The pitch. Fastball bounces in. Nice stop by Castaldo. Drew with 20 home runs, with 87 runs batted in. A slugging percentage coming into the game of .766. On base percentage of .513. Wilkerson comes set. And the pitch, swing, and he fouled it back onto the screen. 1-1. Well, the crowd now applauds the ball boy who makes the catch of this ball coming down off the screen. Drew hitting .385. Hitless in 3 at-bats. Now time has been called as the home plate umpire spots something that came onto the warning track. I think
out of the Seminole bullpen.
Baseball got loose from the Seminole bullpen. Badeau at second, Farrow at first, and Drew at the plate representing the tying run. Wilkerson to the belt. The pitch swung out and missed. Big cut. 1-2. J.D. Drew against Brad Wilkerson. These are 2 All-American players. Mono against mono here in this ball game now. 5-2 lead for the Gators in the 8th. Also lefty against lefty. Kaufman checks the runners. Now the pitch sidearms him, and it's outside for a ball. That evens the count at 2-2. John Kaufman in the dugout with the ice bag on his left shoulder, hoping that Wilkerson can hold this lead. 2 out, 2 on. The 2-2 pitch swung out and fouled back onto the screen again. Right fielder Brian Ogle is deep, standing about 3 steps in front of the warning track in right field. Wilkerson checks the runners. The lefty comes set. The pitch behind him, and it may have hit him. Wilkerson tried to sidearm him and hit him. And now the bases are loaded.
Well, this all coming with 2 outs. Again, looked like it was going to be an easy inning. Then a walk, a single, and now a hit batter, and Jeremy Morris would be the batter. Nobody warming up in the Gator bullpen.
Jeremy Morris is 0 for 3. Strikeout, line out, strikeout again. So he struck out looking, he has struck out swinging. He's got 13 home runs, 87 runs batted in. The Gators have a grand slam in the game. Florida State has hit 8 grand slams this year. The pitch, fastball. That's low for ball 1. Nearly 1 out of 8 Seminole home runs have been grand slams. Badeau third, Farrow second, Drew at first. Wilkerson pitching from the stretch. The hesitation, the pitch. Fastball strike on the inside corner. Gators leading 5-2. When the Gators have led after 7 innings this year, they're 38-1. And trying to hold on to the 3-run lead here in the 8th inning. Wilkerson ready. The pitch. Just missed. A little outside. Now 2-1. They've got a left-hand hitter, Scooby Morgan, in the on-deck circle. But right now they've got the matchup they would like, a right-hander in Jeremy Morris against the left-hander Brad Wilkerson. Wilkerson comes set. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball strike right in there. Well, Morris now steps out of the batter's box, adjusts his helmet, stares out at the mound. Wilkerson likewise comes off the mound as another beach ball has come out of the left field bleachers. There's Chisholm, goes over there and picks it up, hands it to the fans in the stands. There's only a 7-foot high wall here, so an outfielder very easily could go above that wall and make a catch. Now the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. He struck him out on the outside corner. The hat trick for Morris was fanned 3 times, and the Seminoles have left the bases loaded as Wilkerson came on and got out of the jam. No runs, 1 hit, 3 men left. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. The score remains Gators 5, FSU 2.
18 2/3 innings with 12 hits, 6 runs, 4 of them earned. Walked 7 and struck out
Number
17.
10.
Well, it's Chris Chavez. We made a wrong call on that. It's Chris Chavez is the new pitcher. He comes in with a 4-0 mark and 26th appearance and a 2.79 earned run average. 42 innings pitched, 27 hits and 15 runs.
Eric Castaldo leads it off for the Gators in the last of the 8th inning. Castaldo 1 for 3. Here's the pitch to him, and it's a fastball strike on the outside corner. So the 4th Seminole pitcher to work in the ball game. Boy, Randy Choate was tough. He's out of the game, and he stands to be the losing pitcher. Choate would be the loser if the Gators can hold on. Now the 1-2 pitch. Curveball, swing and a miss. Castaldo has struck out. That's one gone here in the Gator 8th inning. And that'll bring up now the Gator first baseman, Matt Duncan. Now, when getting 5 runs this year, the Gators are 44-7, and they're leading 5-2. There's a breaking ball down at the knees for a called strike 1.
Caught the ball.
I checked that. I thought I saw him throw the right arm up, but it's ball 1. There's a strike, and that evens the count at ball 1 and strike 1. In the first 32 games this year, the Gators were hitting .309. In the last 32 games, hitting .329. There's a breaking ball outside. It's now 2-1. So they've hit better the last half of the season by 20 points over what they hit in the first half. Here's a pitch swung out and bounced foul. And that's really a tribute to Steve Kling, the hitting coach, and to the development of the young players, because when you consider all the non-conference opponents you play in the first half of the year, hit .309 is a pretty good figure at 32 games, but then to come out in the last 32 down the stretch in crunch time hit .329 is remarkable. 2-2 pitch, that's outside, and a full count to Matt Duncan. Chris Chavez ready. Breaking ball. Strike 3 call. Duncan called out on strikes. And so a pretty impressive relief appearance was by this right-hander now, Chavez, who comes out of the FSU bullpen and promptly strikes Castaldo and Duncan out. Breaking ball fooled Duncan that time. Here now is Chris Chisholm. First pitch, fastball, strike. Chisholm is 0 for 3. He struck out in the second and has grounded out twice, hitting .335 on the year. The pitch on the way. Fastball is outside. And it evens the count at 1-1. Now the pitch on the way, and that's inside. Chavez is really working quickly. Looking ahead to the Florida State 9th inning, it'll be Scooby Morgan, Scott Zetch, and Steve Nadeau. 4, 5, and 6 hitters are scheduled to come up. There's a breaking ball, and it hit him down and in, and it hit him on the foot. So Chisholm trots on down to first base. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. From Omaha, this is the Florida Gator Baseball Network, a division of Paxson Sports.
Right on the toe. Go.
Along with Bob White, I'm Mick Hubert here at Rosenblatt Stadium. Happy that you've joined us for exciting Florida Gator College World Series baseball. Gators trailed 2-0 after 5.5 innings. Got a run in the 6th, and then Brad Wilkerson hit a grand slam home run in the 7th, and Florida leads 5-2. Here's Brian Ogle. He swings on the first pitch and hits a deep drive. Right center field, going back to right fielder at the track. Nadeau to make the catch in front of the 360-foot marker in right center field. Ogle went after the first pitch and hit it deep, but that's it for the Gators in the 8th. No runs, no hits, one man left. We go to the 9th. Gators got to hold them. Our score, Florida 5, Florida State 2. The 8-inning totals this afternoon. The Gators 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Seminoles 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. It'll be Scooby Morgan, Scott Zetch, Steve Nadeau, the scheduled first 3 hitters against left-hander Brad Wilkerson. Bob Wilkerson picks up here right where he left off in the regional.
Yep, and thank goodness he does. With the bat, with the arm. Got one more inning to go. I'm glad he's on our team.
Yeah, you and me both.
You know, as I mentioned a while back, where would this ball club be without Wilkerson? I thought perhaps they'd be around the country in the various places that they're watching on television. He may well, in fact, not be here with the contributions that not only he has made, but an entire club. 11 of the 25 men on the roster are freshmen. Scooby Morgan leading it off the ninth. First pitch, outside, ball one. Morgan has walked twice, grounded out in the seventh, hitting .317. Wilkerson ready, and the pitch. Down low and inside. Ball two. Seminoles on the top step of the dugout with those caps turned on backwards. Here's the 2-0 pitch now. Strike is right in there. Where the Gators have sat in the dugout on the bench the whole game, with the exception of when they unloaded the dugout for the grand slam of Wilkerson. Now the 2-1 pitch. Strike call to the inside corner. The Seminoles came into this game with 10 hits or more in the last 4 contests, but only 5 hits today. Brad Wilkerson ready. Now the 2-2 pitch. Fastball is inside. It's a full count. Got a few of the Gators that have moved up to the top step, but largely because a lot of the back step or the back bench is full. Here's one foul back onto the screen, and it remains 3-2. A beautiful day here in Omaha. The bad weather that was here for 24 hours has moved east. We've got clear, sunny skies and breezy conditions. The 3-2 pitch. Swung on. There's a one-hopper down to the first baseman. Duncan drops it, picks it up, waves Wilkerson away, and Duncan will step on the base to retire Scooby Morgan for the first out.
Kept that ball in front of him. Didn't try anything fancy. Just let it bounce off his glove, his chest, and then picked it up, dropped it, picked it up again. And then without even flipping it to Wilkerson covering, he said, taking no more chances, he ran it to the bag for the putout. 1 down.
Here's Scott Zetch, right-hand hitter. Wilkerson delivers. Fastball, strike one. Larry Vitale has gone downstairs to try and maybe get us some post-game. We'll wait and see on that. Here's the pitch. That's a ball. 1-1 the count. Have some different NCAA regulations here regarding post-game, so kind of at the mercy of the NCAA staff here relative to post-game interviews. The 1-1 fastball pops the mitt, but it was high. And it's now 2-1. Zetch has 2 hits today. He's 2 for 3. Scored a run in the second. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball called a strike. Now 2-2. Paul Rigdon continues to warm up down in the Gator bullpen should he be needed. The 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Zetch strikes out. Wilkerson has struck out 2 in the 1 full inning now that he has pitched. And the Gators are just 1 out away from moving into the second round on Monday. And the Seminoles now will get a pinch hitter stepping in there now. First pitch right there, a strike. Wilkerson coming hard at the
Number two.
FSU pinch hitter, Jeff Sprague, hitting at .331. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Swung on, ground ball down to Duncan at first. He's got it. He flips to Wilkerson, covering the bag, and the ball game is all over. Gators win. Brad Wilkerson comes in, hits a grand slam home run, and then picks up the save. The Florida Gators trailing 2-0. Rally to win 5-2. And for the Gators, their 25th comeback victory of the year as the Gators win their 49th game of the year. The final score, Florida 5, Florida State 2. Back with a recap in a moment on the Florida Gator Baseball Network.